set religious. You know, I always been about my motherfucking paper. Yeah. Much out, boy. Run out that paper and get it. Whatever it say, we gonna. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Trash Puppy channel, where the world of financial investing and astrology collide. My name is The Download. I'm your guide on this unique journey. Hey, before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and also click on the bell so you'll be notified of new updates. This is obviously a brand new YouTube channel, so your support is very much appreciated, and thank you for watching. Hey, but before we begin, big shout out to Keith Gill, the Roaring Kitty. He just posted a picture of a dog. A lot of people out there think it's about Chewy or companies that are related to a dog. Actually, it's not. He's giving a shout out to the Trash Puppy channel because that's my boy, and he is the inspiration behind this channel. Short squeezes, sure, we'll talk about short squeezes, but that's already been done before. We're also focusing on cryptocurrency, spots markets, and just any opportunities that might exist in finance. Where are all the licks? Are there any arbitrage opportunities? How do we make more money? That's what we're talking about in this podcast. How do we make money? And along with a little bit of financial analysis, technical analysis, I will also be supplementing the data with information from various other texts, religious texts, numerology. I'm really huge into astrology, so think of this channel as when the cosmos meet stocks. Okay, so if you like the idea, like I said, please hit subscribe. So let's get started. Today I want to start with the company NVIDIA. NVIDIA is probably one of the top 3 most valuable companies in the world right now, along with Apple. And they make processing units that power a lot of companies' AI products. And if you had invested $100 5 years ago, today it would be worth close to $3,000. So they've had astronomical returns. And believe it or not, NVIDIA's rise was actually predicted 5,000 years ago in an ancient text, ancient Chinese prophetic book, a book of clairvoyance, and it's called Tui Bei Tu. Tui Bei Tu is a 7th century book, and it contains 60 poems or chapters, as whatever we want to call them, and it's a gentleman's drawings and writings that prophesies about the rise and fall of man. And we'll get way deep into all of the different nuances in the book, including the rise of how he predicts the rise of AI, possible visitors from outer space, and different types of warfare. But before we get all into it, let's start with chapter 43 of this particular book. Chapter 43, I have it up on the screen. As you can see, there's a picture of 2 gentlemen, and they seem to be enjoying a nice conversation. On the top here, it has a couple verses, and then there's a couple more words on the bottom here. Now, what are these 2 gentlemen talking about? Well, they're talking about what's going on in today's, in 2024. And the story kind of goes like this, and I will let my favorite YouTube personalities explain the story and what these 2 gentlemen are talking about, because they do a much better job than I do. So the story kind of goes like this. The 2 gentlemen are walking in the wilderness, and they see 2 horses by nearby stream. One is a red horse and one is a horse. And the 2 gentlemen, one man's name is Mr. Lee, and one gentleman's name is, let's call him Mr. OG, makes a bet. And they see one red horse and one black horse, and they make a bet about which horse will cross the river first. So Mr. OG, he takes out his trusty calculator and he calculates that, hey, currently it's in the year 2024, we're going to be ruled by the element of fire. So I believe because fire is represented by the color red, the red horse shall cross first. And while listening to this, Mr. Lee says, no, the black horse will cross first because although your calculations are correct, no doubt it's the element of fire, but from fire has to come fire comes from smoke, and smoke comes first. Therefore, the black horse crosses. So that's the story behind this particular picture and what these two gentlemen are talking about. They're having a wager on which horses crosses first. And what's the significance, you ask? Well, in this particular prophetic text, it speaks of a black rabbit going into a green dragon. And last year, based on the Chinese lunar calendar, it's the year of the rabbit, and this year it's the year of the dragon. So I believe this is speaking to 2024. And knowing that, and the fact that they're having a wager about the element of fire lets me know that the fire element is going to be a theme, or as you know, a motif in investments and the trend in the next 20 or so years. So that's where we started with NVIDIA, and looking at NVIDIA's vendors and partners, I realized that they work with a company, Intuitive Machines, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Intuitive Machines, traded on the Nasdaq under the symbol LUNR, Lunar, kind of like the moon, right? And that's exactly what they do. They are a company that engages in space exploration and everything that has to do with it. So their website, and it tells you about us. They were founded in 2013, and it provides lunar surface access, lunar orbit delivery, and communication at lunar distance. Hey, for those of you who like to trade cryptocurrency, if you want to trade crypto on the moon in say 10, 20 years, well, they're involved in that. If they need to put one of those box bore houses on the moon, they're involved in that. So there's no direction on their revenue currently where it's really coming from, but they do everything space exploration. And what's there not to love? Let's take a look at their leadership. Top guy in charm, Cam Gaffron, Iranian billionaire, one of the vanguards of space exploration, along with Elon Musk at SpaceX. Steve Altemus, Dr. Timothy Crane, two of their senior executives with ties to aerospace and also NASA. So I believe that this speaks well for the next few years as the U.S. continue to engage in conflicts with the rest of the world. There will be more money spent on defense contracting, and with all the wealthy people getting off the planet, there's plenty of revenue for this company, and there will be plenty of investments. And I believe this company is poised to be the Tesla of the future. You hear it first, and it says it in the prophetic text from ancient China. Fire is the element that rule, and space rockets reminds me of fire. So beyond that, let's talk about their leadership. We've talked about what they do. Let's talk about their balance sheet and their financial statements. So where I always like to start is their P&L. So this is the P&L for Intuitive Machines for year ending 2023. And what's really interesting here is in 2023, a lot of their revenue actually comes from the change in fair value of the earn-out liabilities. So what does that mean? I am not sure because I'm not familiar with the internal operations, but usually on the balance sheet for companies that work with the federal government, the way these federal contracts work is it's performance. Also, as you continue to do the work, the revenue is then paid out. It's not a one-time lump sum of payment. So as Intuitive Machine continues to perform the work, the revenue is being realized. And I anticipate this going forward. They probably have several different contracts with NASA and the federal government, especially in defense contracting. And you can look at NVIDIA's financial statements and kind of gather some of the same information. And also, lastly, I wanted to take a look at their profile on Google. So what I really like to do, and this is taking a book out of Roy and Kitty's playbook, is figure out, is this stock shorted? Is there opportunity in the market for a short squeeze? And as you can see, wow, they have quite a percentage, about 15% of their stocks are shorted, and about 8% of it. So there might be a play there, but I believe in the stock. I think it was prophesized many years ago, and If you like this channel, hit subscribe. Not much else. Shout out again to Roaring Kitty. This is your guide to investing with the cosmos. Download, please hit subscribe. First video. Thank you.